we're just going to TikTok's other app.
Tonight, amid fear a TikTok ban could take effect later this week, some Americans flocking to Chinese apps like RedNote.
I'm a TikTok refugee.
And Lemonade.
Hello, Lemonade. This is my first video.
Both apps have similarities to TikTok, and Lemonade shares a parent company, ByteDance. The platform's topping Apple's downloads.
We are doing this to spite our own government.
Some say it's a form of protest.
By going to an app like RedNote, they're saying, no, I am in control of where I give my data.
It's an even more Chinese app than the Chinese app we're all worried about right now. The newness will wear off once we're all sort of bored holding up that middle finger to the government. We'll wander off, but for now, I'm just sort of hanging out consuming.
I love us especially today because the government said we're taking away TikTok because the Chinese government having our data is a threat, to which hundreds of thousands of millennial, Gen Z, and Gen X Americans went, and we, myself included, downloaded an even more Chinese app and went, here's our data. Now give us the dancing cats. It's RedNote, Xiaohongshu. Confident I didn't say that right. But so many of us downloaded it, we crashed out their system. It can't verify users right now. It's so overwhelmed by Americans just flocking to it. I love us. Somebody asked Duolingo how many people switched to Mandarin in the last couple days. I need to know.
Chinese app Xiaohongshu, or RedNote in the West, saw a spike of new users from the US, just days before a proposed ban on social media TikTok. In fact, it topped free download rankings on Apple's US App Store this week. A live chat called TikTok Refugees had more than 50,000 American and Chinese users joining the room on Monday, and impromptu cultural exchanges were seen across the app between veteran Chinese users and American newcomers. One refugee user named Crystal, who declined to give her last name, posted this introduction.
As I sit here and record this video with everyone staring at me, it's okay because I'm one of the TikTok refugees and I'm used to this. I just want to thank you for welcoming us to this app. If we do anything wrong, just let us know, because we're used to making videos where we dance and do stupid stuff. Well, the OGs are. The new TikTok people, they're not really used to that. They're just used to pushing sales to the TikTok shop. So just tell us and we will correct it. Just let us know. And hopefully within 2 weeks, we're bilingual. I mean, that's my goal in life.
TikTok has a US user base of 170 million Americans, about half its population, and is owned by Chinese company ByteDance. The Justice Department has said TikTok poses a threat to national security because of a risk that China could use data on Americans for espionage, blackmail, or manipulate what gets shown to users. Content creator Gwenna Lathland, who has also made a move to RedNote, says she's treating it like a silent protest against the TikTok ban.
We as an American public feel so very silenced and ignored that this right here is our opportunity to really just shove a middle finger up in the air and go, no, we don't like this. You didn't listen to us. But so far we have begged our representatives, please show us what this security issue is and why ByteDance is more guilty than everybody else. When if Chinese owned and run and accessed apps are a problem, why was RedNote even on?
I moved because I really believe the ban's happening, where a lot of people don't believe it is, and they're still over there. But I went to RedNote because one of my friends referred me to it, and I just think it's great.
Two sources told Reuters the sudden influx has taken RedNote by surprise. A person close to the company told Reuters more than 700,000 new users joined in just 2 days. Xiaohongshu is something like a Chinese answer to Instagram, geared more toward domestic Chinese users with little content in English. The sources say the company is now scrambling to find ways to moderate English language content and build English-Chinese translation tools. The company wants to mine the sudden rush of attention, as executives see it as a potential path to achieve global popularity similar to TikTok's. Share prices of some China-listed companies that conduct business with Xiaohongshu surged past their daily limit Tuesday. It all comes as the deadline approaches for ByteDance to sell US assets of TikTok before January 19th or face a ban.
Breaking news, an earthquake in the world of social media that could be even bigger than we thought. reports that TikTok is planning to shut down its app to users in the United States this Sunday, the day a federal ban is scheduled to take effect. Now, that ban was supposed to just mean that people couldn't update their apps. This goes much further. This means that people won't even be able to get in. This is a huge deal. This is much bigger than we thought it would be and much quicker.
Yeah, I imagine there are some creators on TikTok who are really freaking out now if they weren't already. ByteDance really had three options here. The first was to shut down TikTok altogether when this ban went into effect. The next was to sell TikTok to a non-Chinese owner. They've expressed very little interest so far in doing that, although we may be hearing some negotiating happening soon. And the third option was to essentially do nothing and allow the app stores to ban it, because it was always really the app stores who were on the hook to remove the platform from their app stores. And that's really what we expected, was that people just wouldn't be able to download the app if they got a new phone. They wouldn't be able to update it. But if you had the app on your phone, you would still be able to use it. Now, according to this new report, it sounds like people won't be able to access the app at all. If they go on there, they'll be redirected to a site explaining the ban. Creators may be able to download their data, their old videos, but they won't actually be able to access TikTok. And this may be sort of a negotiating tactic on the part of ByteDance. They obviously are going to have a lot of upset creators, and as they're trying to potentially work out a plan with the new Trump administration, that having lots of angry folks in the United States, 170 million American users, could be a leverage point for ByteDance here. We're already seeing creators move to a number of different alternative apps as people try to figure out sort of what's next. And it's not necessarily the Instagrams and the YouTubes that you would expect. There are a lot of new apps that are cropping up, including Lemonade, which is a ByteDance app like TikTok is. Rednote, which is actually a Chinese-owned app as well, and then Flip, Clapper, Fanbase, a number of these other apps that are also short-form video. Creators can make money, so it'll be really interesting if we do see this ban go into effect, whether any of these ends up being sort of the winner over the mainstream apps that we know of.
Some users even protesting American-owned Meta.
You will not catch me on Instagram Reels.
The law that could ban TikTok largely focuses on U.S. government concerns that China could manipulate content Americans see or steal user data. TikTok denies this.
TikTok's parent company, ByteDance, is explicitly named in the law. Users, for now, assuming the government isn't prepared to also block other apps like Rednote, but they could eventually be impacted because of their Chinese ownership.
It could really have a cascading effect in terms of U.S. companies, Apple, Tesla, and China. And it would definitely get the U.S. China relationship with Trump coming back in off to I'd say a bad foot. Yeah, I believe this is one of the first things Trump will take care of, given the immediacy of the ban on the 19th.
So I'm going to have to start thinking about TikTok. I think we're going to have to start thinking. Because, we did go on TikTok and we had a great response with billions of views, billions and billions of views. They brought me a chart, and it was a record, and it was so beautiful to see. And as I looked at it, I said, maybe we got to keep this sucker around a little while,
I believe Trump is going to look for ways, if the Supreme Court still allows the ban, to either delay it or not enforce it, because they have a lot to lose. And Trump is against the ban. And if they ban this on the First Amendment perspective, you can't put the genie back in the bottle. And I think it sets a dangerous precedent, and that's the view of the Trump administration. Look, it's possible that ByteDance could sell TikTok. We believe if they sell it, it's without the algorithm, which is called the brains behind the technology. And in that case, it's probably worth less than $50 billion, if they sell it. But look, this is a game of high stakes poker. Trump administration does not want ultimately to ban TikTok. And I think this is just the first step.
ByteDance could sell TikTok to an American owner. Today, questions swirling if Elon Musk is in the mix to buy it after Bloomberg reported Chinese officials have discussed that, according to people familiar with the matter. TikTok tells NBC News that's pure fiction.
They were able to ban this app before they were able to do anything about Flint, Michigan. They were able to agree on banning this app before giving aid to Puerto Rico. Forget the medical industry or the fact that they haven't done anything to solve school shootings.
40,000 Americans die every single year because they can't afford fucking health insurance, but our government's worried about an app.
Where is our rage? Where is the anger that should come with this moment? With the clock ticking on TikTok, panic is setting in.
Looks like that ban is going into effect, and I'm probably going to lose my 3 cents per video.
2 other Chinese social media apps, RedNote and Lemon8, have rocketed to the top of the charts, seeing a surge in so-called TikTok refugees.
Somebody told me about RedNote, and I dive into it right off the bat.
It's all ahead of a decision from the U.S. Supreme Court, which will rule on whether to uphold a ban on the platform set to go into effect Sunday.
I think they'll do so on pretty narrow national security grounds and really focusing on the fact that TikTok is controlled by a foreign entity.
Chinese ownership and influence are why U.S. lawmakers voted to ban the platform in the first place, fearing TikTok's Chinese parent company, ByteDance, could turn over user data to Beijing or use TikTok's addictive algorithms to influence Americans. ByteDance could avoid the ban by selling TikTok to a U.S. company.
We believe if they sell it, it's without the algorithm, which is call it the brains behind the technology. And in that case, it's probably worth less than $50 billion.
Possible buyers include a team led by Canadian investor Kevin O'Leary. But TikTok is digging in and reportedly plans to instead shut down service entirely on Sunday if the ban comes into effect. Just 24 hours before Donald Trump, a TikTok ally, is sworn in as president.
I have a warm spot in my heart for TikTok.
If the Supreme Court upholds the ban, there may not be much Trump can do to reverse it. This high-stakes game of chicken has become about more than just an app, spilling over into the fight between the U.S. and China over global tech dominance.